Throw that warning on, and this will be the updated warning. There it is. Now, this, what you're seeing here, the highlighted one, that is the warning that is going to expire here in about 2 minutes. It will come off the system at that point. But the new warning that we're going to be looking at, as Brian mentioned there, is going to be in effect over to the border of Greene County there. So let me move that camera just a little bit more, and we'll put that latest information out on that. Brian, do you have, can you give me a printout of that for me so that we can
Yes, I will.
Take a look at what exactly it is we're looking at. I had to get my thoughts for that query. So let's, for that information, let's take a look at that latest information if it populates here for me. See if we can get it to show up. It's not, is it going to do that for me? It's not going to do that for me, so we may have to do that over at the weather desk there. Okay, so I'm going to slide off here just for a moment, and I'm going to take a look at that and see if I can get that to populate. All right, I'm not sure. Why am I seeing different outputs? There we go. All right, so give me 1 second here. All right.
I could look. I don't think so.
Not able to do that from my monitor there for a moment. So we're going to try one more time again. Brian is printing out that watch information for me, or that warning information right now for me. In the meantime, let's throw the radar back on so we get an idea where this storm is headed right now. Again, we're looking at that extended warning. Okay, here's Brian. Thank you, Brian.
Yep.
Okay, so here is the latest information on that warning for Delaware County. It's until 2:15, so another half an hour for northern Delaware County, essentially. Again, until 2:15. This, as we mentioned before, we do not have confirmation of a tornado on the ground. We have a radar sourced, essentially, radar indicated. So we're looking at an environment that is conducive to tornadic development. We have winds turning in the right direction in the atmosphere. We have a thunderstorm coming through that environment. So the Weather Service puts out a tornado warning because it is moving into that favorable environment. So we're watching this pretty carefully. But again, this should be near East Meredith around 1:45, Hobart, excuse me, right around 2 o'clock, Roxbury around 2:10. So you've got some time there again, and also over to Fleischmann's around 2:15. Again, this storm is moving south. Let's see here. It is moving southeast at 50 miles an hour. We've timed out, we've sped this storm up to 50 miles an hour. So this storm is moving very, very quickly. And Brian looks like he has another update for me here, and this is going to be for a severe thunderstorm warning. We'll get to that in a moment. That's for southeastern Cortland and southwestern Shenango County. We're going to focus on this tornado warning at the moment. Brian, if you can, alert people on social media with that tornado, with the severe thunderstorm warning. So if you want to follow us over on our social media pages, we'll keep track of that severe thunderstorm warning for Shenango and Cortland County. That's until 2:30. But right now, the most pressing is this tornado warning that is in effect for Delaware County. That poses the most threat at this moment. And again, we are not seeing any signs of an imminent tornado, of a tornado on the ground. We haven't. Kate, have we had any sort of, is there anything in the NWS chat that can add any value to what we're seeing right now?
No, just the latest updates on those warnings. There was a storm report from Cortland County. I don't think it's necessarily related to the tornado warning, but there was a report of some trees and wires down on Chestnut Street in Cortland County. In Cortland County, that was. Okay, so again, follow us on our social media pages. We'll keep you up to date on that severe thunderstorm for Shenango County, which will be, again, near, I can give you the information, it was located over Willett, near Marathon, moving southeast at around 35 miles an hour. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts are possible, as well as quarter-sized hail. Again, radar indicated, but there are some signs in that, thunderstorm warning that could produce some damage at any point. So back over to that tornado warning. I'm going to throw the velocity on here one more time and see if we're picking up any sort of, there's definitely some very strong winds showing up in the atmosphere with this. I'm going to see if I can get that camera to pick up just the Binghamton radar information instead of the Albany data. Let's see if it's going to, there, see, it wants to just for a second. And let's see if we can get that in there. All right, it's not going to let me, but that storm is just south of Courtright. I'm going to set those down. We're going to come right back into where that storm is located. There's a lot of lightning there. Box zoom. We're going to come right in to where that storm is. Excuse me. Let me see if I can clear all
and get rid of that lightning. My hand tracker is acting up a little bit here. Let me shut the radar. Let me shut that lightning off there. Don't know, I must have mistakenly hit it. All right, so lightning home. All right, we're going to box in here. We'll come right back in here. Now I'm off camera, of course, here, but I'm sitting over at the weather office. If you can, there we go. Okay, so lightning is now shut off, and let's take a look at that velocity information and see if we can pick up any sort of rotation in there. There's definitely some strong winds right now over to Courtright. Now, again, this tornado warning is in effect until 2:15. For Delaware County, and that very strong wind showing up in the atmosphere south of Courtright, northeast of Delhi, east of Meredith at this hour. Let's throw that the radar back on for you, and you can get an idea of what it looks like. Now, if you're following along from home, we're not going to see, most likely, with this particular system, that Midwest hook echo that many folks associate with a tornado, but you can definitely see there's a lot of activity showing up, a lot of lightning. Stanford, Courtright. This is moving off to the south and east through Delaware County. Once again, let me move this camera just a little bit. There we go, and then you can see places like Bovina, Roxbury. I believe Roxbury's definitely in that warning as well as Bovina. So it's moving over a lot of rural area, but it is important nonetheless, especially right out Route 10. It looks like it's going to be crossing over Route 10. So if you're anywhere near Route 10, let's see if we can zoom in just a little bit closer to where this storm is right now. This will give us a down to street level, essentially. So yeah, that's a nasty looking storm over to MacArthur Hill Road, Kiff Brook Road, McMurdy Brook Road, over to Betty Brook Road, right into South Courtright. If you're in South Courtright, you need to get into your safe spot immediately. Hopefully you've already been there if you've been watching us here since this tornado warning was issued just a little while ago, but we have another 25 minutes or so left of this tornado warning. It's until 2:15 in Delaware County. Again, looking at a lot of not seeing any intense tornadic signatures on radar right now, but as we've said multiple times, this tornado warning is into an environment that is supportive of a tornado developing at any point. So I also, Kate, I did hear something in the chat there. Was there an update to that you can share with us?
That was just about that severe thunderstorm warning, that's continued until 2:30.
So it was a severe thunderstorm warning, okay. And Brian, I'm sure you're working on that severe thunderstorm warning on our social pages, as I mentioned. Okay, so again, why are we not worried about the severe thunderstorm warning? We're going to be covering that on our social pages, so if you follow our main WBNG Facebook page, you'll get some updates on that. But right now we're concerned with the alpha priority here, which essentially is that tornado warned storm. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Again, if you are in places like, let's see, here, get a closer view, over to South Courtright, if you're in over toward New Road, County Route 5, again, a lot of rural area, but coming right across Route 10 now, over to Kiff Brook Road, Roberts Road. Let me see if we move that one more just a little bit here and see if we can pick up what that is. Just northeast, over toward County Highway 18, Crow Road, Route 10, going out into northern Delaware County. This is where that tornado warning is in effect for. Let me zoom out just a little bit more and see if we can, come on, zoom out. This hand tracker can be finicky sometimes. There we go. Again, looking over at that eastern Delaware County at this moment, over to Stanford. Roxbury, if you are not in your safe spot just yet, this storm is moving at 50 miles an hour. So we have to keep a very close eye on this. I'm going to step off here just for a moment. Kate, can you share any information? Is there anything new, any storm reports or anything that we have?
Delaware County, and I have it right on the screen behind me. The towns impacted are Deposit, Hancock, Sanford, and Thompson. This is actually outside of that tornado warning, but could be from, they're investigating the cause at this time, so it could be from storms that we saw earlier, and right now there's about 951 people without power right there. So that proves that these storms today could pack a punch and do have those gusty winds, so power outages are going to be something to keep in mind as we head through the rest of the afternoon, but that tornado warning is still in effect, not for that affected area that was in that power outage, but we still have that in effect for the next few minutes or so, but I haven't gotten any new updates on that. Still, the same counties are affected for that and haven't had any new updates on that as of right now.
Okay, thank you, Kate. Now get back over to the wall here, and I've drawn a squall line indicator on this tornado warned storm. This will be, again, in Delaware County, near Roxbury around 154. So just about now, the leading edge of that storm is near Roxbury, Bovina around 155, Thompson Hollow School, Vega around 158, and over to Denver around 2 o'clock. So again, watching places in eastern Delaware County for a tornado warning at this hour that we still don't have, as we just talked with Kate there, we still don't have any confirmed tornadoes on the ground from any law enforcement or from any National Weather Service personnel there. But this is all of this activity is moving into an environment that is conducive to a tornado forming. So let me slide off one more time here and see if I can pop just the warnings on over top of this as well, and that will give us an idea of, that's what I wanted right there. So again, if you are in, oh, there we go. If you're in Courtright, Stamford, Bovina, Roxbury as well, you'll notice how that storm isn't quite on you just yet, but it's moving, as we mentioned, at 50 miles an hour. So it is moving very rapidly as we see that over to Fleischmann's as well. No indications of strong rotation yet on radar. In fact, I have the ability here while at the desk to look at multiple layers in that storm. And what I'm looking at here, there is definitely an interesting feature, certainly right near Courtright. There's that little bit of a bright green and blue to a red. That indicates there is some rotation there as well. But bottom line, there are some very strong winds in the atmosphere right now, and they could possibly produce a tornado. I just heard another update there. Kate, can you give what was the latest with that?
They continued that tornado warning for Delaware County. It says right now, it is near Hobart or 8 miles northeast of Delhi, moving southeast at 50 miles an hour.
Okay, so they kept the speed the same at 50 miles an hour, moving southeast again. So that is moving very rapidly. We said that it was, let's see, East Meredith, East Delhi as well, Bovina Center. Those folks, you are right in the path of this tornado warned storm. I can throw that warning on there for you one more time. Again, it's the area now showing up just north of Bovina. You see that right around County Highway 18. You notice that red couplet right along County Highway 18 with those bright blues indicating. Now again, we're picking up, this is radar information out of Albany, not Binghamton. So we are looking at still at some circulation there. It's not a very tight circulation, but it's certainly possible with all of the hills and such out here in the beautiful Catskill area that their little bit of what we call mesoscale impacts, influences, could maybe cause a spin-up. So this is why we look at the big picture in terms of the tornadic environment, and we're in it right now. So again, northeast of Bovina, you see over toward Roses Brook Road, County Highway 18. Let's zoom in just a little bit more and see if we can get Roxbury. If you're in Roxbury, you need to get into your safe spot right now because you're in that tornado warning, which again will be moving very quickly here. Again, off. You said, Kate, it was at 50 miles an hour?
Yeah.
So it's moving at 50 miles an hour. So that's going to put it into West Settlement, Roxbury very quickly. May not get down into New Kingston, but again, you're in that polygon. These storms can do funny things. They can jig and jog just a little bit. So it is important to know that if that tornado warning isn't on top of you right now, if you're ahead of this storm, you want to heed its warning. You want to be paying attention. And it's always better to be safe than sorry. So looking at that Roses Brook Road over to West Settlement is where that circulation is showing up right now. Again, this is in the this isn't right at the ground. When we're looking out into eastern Delaware County, we're not able to see very low into the ground, very close to the ground. The radar beam is a couple of thousand feet up by the time it gets out there. So we're looking at rotation, broad rotation, up off the ground just a little bit. So this is likely turning into what we call a supercell thunderstorm, where it's beginning to rotate, and that type of situation, given the environment that it's moving into, could possibly lead to a tornado forming at any given point. So again, I want to revisit that tornado watch is in effect for all counties. We'll get back to that in just a moment, but I want to show everybody everybody in this area is under a tornado watch through this evening. So let me zoom out. That's what I wanted to do, was zoom out. All the counties that are shaded in yellow are under that tornado watch again. And Brian, what time is that tornado watch until?
7 o'clock.
Okay, so that tornado watch is in effect until 7 o'clock for all counties here. Now, what's going to happen is this storm moves south, as a cold front moves south and east, we're going to see favorable conditions become less favorable from north to south as it moves off to the south and east. But everybody in the yellow shaded counties, even in northeastern Bradford County, just be on alert here. Be weather aware this afternoon. Producer Steve is with my ear. Can you say one more time? Oh, okay, there's a live look in Norwich right now. I'm not sure where this is, but yeah, definitely some pretty ominous-looking skies right now. Now, Norwich is not under that tornado warning, but you can definitely pick up how we have very ominous-looking clouds here this afternoon as this cold front continues to drop south of the area. So, again, a live look up in Norwich at this hour. Steve, do we know where that shot is? Is that... Okay, so Rob, I think one of our reporters, Robin Hearn, may be out there right now. She's at Norwich, one of the Norwich schools there, but again, looking off to the north. So pretty ominous looking setup right now. But let's get back over to, if we can throw back over to the radar for me. I want to get some safety information out here for folks that may be under that tornado warning right now. Again, tornado warning means that a tornado is possible. Right now, it is occurring or is imminent, meaning it could occur at any moment. So you need to get into your safe spot immediately. Up until this point, we still have not had confirmation, whether it be from the National Weather Service spotters, whether it be from law enforcement or a storm spotter, that any tornado is occurring. Again, it is possible, occurring, or imminent right now. Again, so tornado warning in Delaware County. What can you do? Well, it's important to obviously seek shelter immediately. Vehicles, as we know, are not safe. Try to get into and avoid mobile homes, I should say. But if you are able to get into a substantial structure, an interior room or a closet is going to be the safest location for that. And again, the best location will be into a basement and get below ground. If you're in an office, get into an area where there's as many walls around you as possible. Try to avoid windows that are, or rooms that are filled with windows, as whether it be some gusty winds or a tornado come through, those types of objects can become shrapnel and may not be injured from the tornado itself, rather from the damage around it. So again, looking at the current warnings, that tornado warning is in effect for southeastern, we'll call it eastern Delaware County here. Again, that's until, I think it was until 2:15, correct?
Yes.
Yep, so we've got that warning in effect for the extreme northeastern portion of Delaware County, including Roxbury. Let's zoom in just a little bit more here, and we'll get an idea. Again, if box zoom, I'm going to come in. There we go. Got to make sure it highlights nice and red. Again, there you may be wondering, well, I'm in Broome County. I don't care about what's going on in Delaware County. Well, one of the most important things we have here at the Weather Authority is keeping you safe. Delaware County is one of the counties that we cover, that we're responsible for, and we're going to stay on air and keep you folks. I don't care if there's one person in the path of this storm, we're going to keep you safe. And that's what we're doing here. We're looking at the latest on this tornado warning, again, coming into Roxbury right now as we speak. Hopefully, we've been mentioning Roxbury now for the last little bit. Hopefully you've had an opportunity, if you're watching from Roxbury, to get into your safe location, because that tornado warned storm is indeed right on top of you right now. So this is over to Vega Mountain Road in Vega, County Route 8, a little bit south of that. But again, this storm is moving at 50 miles an hour off to the south and east. Look at that, it just updated right there. And there's just a little bit of an interesting feature, kind of a hookish looking just through Roxbury right now. But again, that's going to be exiting Delaware County here. Probably within the next 10 minutes or so. If you maybe are watching us from a higher mountaintop over in Prattsville or something, that storm will be near you right now. Also, it looks like down in Denver, that area probably a little bit farther south of that tornado warn right now, but you are still in that warning. And as I mentioned there, a little bit of a jig or a jag here or there, and you could be putting yourself into danger's way there. So again, looks like the worst of that storm is showing up right now, right in Roxbury, with that storm over to West Settlement, Lower Meeker Hollow Road, also into Vega, as I mentioned. I wonder if I can come in even just a little bit closer and get some a little bit more detail out of there for you. And again, I realize Roxbury is a beautiful area, very rural, so we may not be talking about any structures in the path of this storm, but heading right through Roxbury right now, at the very least, there may be some very strong winds occurring with this system. And Caitlin, do we have any other reports from Delaware County with this storm right now?
No, not as of right now.
Not as of right now. Okay, so that's some really good news there. But again, look at that. That just updated one more time. Let me zoom out just a little bit and see if we can get a bigger picture on this, where that warning is. Again, that warning goes essentially from just northwest of Roxbury over to not quite Prattsville as well, but to the Greene County line there. And again, let me throw the winds on right now and see if we can pick up any sort of, yeah, okay, this is what I don't want to see. Notice that bright green and that yellow right in that area. So looks like that circulation is updating in front of our eyes. It's just south of Roxbury. So again, if you're in Roxbury, you should be in your safe spot immediately. This is a signature that this thunderstorm has become supercellular, and it is rotating. We are picking up rotation on the radar by the fact that red and green are very close together. That means it's a tighter circulation. Again, this storm is, the radar beam is coming out of Albany, and it's up in the storm a little ways, but as that thunderstorm grows, it's subject to those twisting and spinning winds in the atmosphere. And again, it could very well produce a wall cloud and then perhaps a tornado. So we're just about getting ready to expire this warning here, probably about another 9 or so minutes into Delaware County. But I'm going to come in even just a little bit closer and looking at those signatures there. It is definitely time to head into a safe spot. If you're south and west of Roxbury, right over Cold Spring Road, Kingston Mountain Road, Carroll Hinckley Road, County Route 8, County Route 36, and looks like over to John Hewitt Spur there. Definitely a situation where we are seeing some signs of some broad rotation on radar. Tornado warning means this is radar indicated, meaning we don't have confirmation of it from the Weather Service. We don't have confirmation from law enforcement, but we do indeed have the environment and the conditions. You see that right here, right just east of Cold Spring Road over to County Route 36. Now, given that this is out of Albany, the winds here are going in toward Albany. So the blues and the greens, that's the latest scan right there. And there's a lot of strong wind right now showing up with this storm. Again, and you notice that just a little bit of a couplet. I like to see it a little bit tighter for any real strong indication, but given that this is up in the atmosphere a little bit, that rotation could be looking a little different on at the low levels of the storm here. So very muggy atmosphere. This storm likely has a very low base, and it could very well be spinning in the lowest levels there, as it certainly is near Carroll Hinckley Road, County Route 8. Again, if you're in that area, I realize it's a lot of rural area, but if you're in a campground or anything like that, you want to get into a substantial structure as you are right now under the teeth or in the teeth of that tornado warning with this storm. Let me move this camera just a little bit more off to the north and east. And again, you can see here is the Delaware County, Greene County border right there. So it's not quite there, but there's definitely a lot of strong wind showing up with even a little bit of that rotation coming in right near Lower Meeker Hollow Road, where it meets not quite Carroll Hinckley Road, but Route 30 coming out of. And I just heard an update. Kate, do you have an update for that? I heard that little siren. Yeah, they just continued the warning once again until 2:15. Right now it's located over Roxbury, or 17 miles east of Delhi, still moving southeast at 50 miles an hour. Okay, and that warning is does that still include Delaware County? Yep. Okay, so it says until 2:15, correct? Yes. Yeah, so that's going to be for another 9 minutes, as we mentioned. So after that, it will likely exit Delaware County, and then at that point they'll pass it off. But and we'll be able to get back to our regularly scheduled program. But again, a very strong signature of very strong winds, at least in the lower part of that thunderstorm, that is showing signs of rotation. And there is, again, the latest update showing, let me zoom out maybe just a little bit here and see if we can pick up a little bit more of a broader picture. Let me see if it's going Box zoom out. Are you going to zoom out? No, zoom out. Let's zoom out, actually, is what I want to do. I don't want to box zoom in. So let's pop out just a little bit more, and you can definitely pick up over toward Vega, just southwest of Vega. There's even a little bit of a couplet showing up just west of Vega. Again, all of this area right over toward Denver, again, inside Delaware County, on the extreme fringes of Delaware County nonetheless, but it is north and east of Kelly Corners over to Hog Mountain Road as well. The worst of that storm appears to be from about Route 30 over to Red Kill Road near Vega, over to Denver, including County Route 36, Horse Farm Road. You're seeing that broad circulation in that area. Again, very rural area, but it is certainly showing signs on radar of rotation, of it being a supercell right now, meaning it's spinning, and we have the possibility there of radar indicated tornadoes. So again, we don't have any sort of confirmation from law enforcement or from the National Weather Service themselves that there may be a tornado. It's just the environment is favorable for that tornado development, and it is entirely possible that there may be one at any point. So again, if by chance you are in eastern Delaware County, maybe Roxbury, Kelly Corners, or someplace like Vega and other places, especially over toward Bovina, if you have any pictures or any damaged pictures, if you could send those along to us on our social media pages. If you download the Storm Track 12 weather app, you should be able to connect. You will be able to connect with us directly there as well. But any sort of damaged pictures will help us get a better picture as to what happened, and it just gives us an idea. But again, there's the latest radar scan. It's not a very tight, very close couplet, but there is still some rotation there. It looks broad from about Vega over to Denver, heading over to Bedell, and then Helcott. So again, that will be moving out of Delaware County. There's the Delaware County border right there. But again, from Horse Farm Road over to Denver, right now some very strong winds showing up just above the ground. Could very well be producing damaging winds at the surface. Again, doesn't have to be a tornado that causes damage. It could be just some strong winds. Keep in mind, the environment that we're in here today, the possibility is there for thunderstorms to produce 75-mile-an-hour winds or greater. And these bright blue colors here are indicating wind speeds up in that range. So it is entirely possible that as this storm cycles, that some of those winds could reach down to the ground. And again, it doesn't matter whether it's straight line or tornadic winds. Damage is damage. It poses a threat and could pose threat to life and property. That's why we're here talking to you. It's extreme eastern reaches of Delaware County, but we care about you. And we're going to keep you safe here by tracking this down to street level, essentially what we're looking at. Again, the worst of that storm northeast of Kelly Corners. Brian or Kate, did I just hear another update there, or am I starting to hear things?
I think you're hearing things.
I'm starting to hear things. Okay. Well, the good news is, again, it's moving almost out of Delaware County at this hour. That warning is in effect for another, I think we said till 2:15, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now I know for sure I did just hear an update.
Okay, now this update, it says a tornado was observed.
Oh.
A tornado was located near Roxbury, or 16 miles west of Hunter, moving southeast at 50 miles an hour. So now the tornado is confirmed.
Okay, so now this becomes a whole different ballgame, folks. We just have a report coming in from the National Weather Service that a tornado was observed. Okay, and again, that was in Roxbury. So that storm is well south and east of you. So anywhere along that path could be tornadic damage, which is exactly why we're here talking to you. The storm right now is moving over to Denver. It looks like it's moving over toward Halkett right now, but there's still some very weak, some very strong winds and some circulation coming in right to Red Kill Road. In fact, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more and pick up where that rotation is still showing up on radar. Again, it's going to just show Red Kill Road there, but northeast of, just east of Dimmick Mountain Road. You see where those reds and blues come together. That's the sign of that thunderstorm, of that supercell thunderstorm that is rotating, and that, according to the National Weather Service local storm report, a tornado was observed near Roxbury. So hopefully you were able to tune in and we could keep you safe there, because we were talking about Roxbury, how that storm was moving through. So hopefully you've had an opportunity. And there's something you don't see very often, is some blues. So there's some very strong winds with this system right now, moving again into out of Delaware County at the moment. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more here. We're going to be able to no, I want to zoom out. I apologize for that, but we'll get a bigger picture here as to what exactly is going on. And again, the worst of that storm right now is heading out of Delaware County. You can see east of Denver, south of Vega, but that is a very ominous sign right there. As we mentioned, a tornado was observed in Roxbury. So, Steve, production, if we can maybe get Delaware County Emergency Management on the phone and see if we can get any sort of confirmation out that way, that will help us understand that situation a little bit better. But this storm it looks like it's going to just continue to cruise right along the border there. So we're going to stay on for the extent of this warning, which is until 2:15. So another couple of minutes here, but east of Bedell, just right into Halcott right now. Fleischmann's, you're probably, you're not, let me take a look here just for a moment. Camera, let me zoom this out just a little bit. Fleischmann's, you're south of that main circulation, which seems to be kind of sliding off to the south and east. So if you're in Fleischmann's, I'm still going to have you hold tight in your safe spot, again, because we now know that a tornado was observed with this storm system. So if it was observed, it could very well be ongoing, especially given these strong wind signatures. It's not very often. I did just hear another update. What was that, Kate?
That was a severe thunderstorm warning for Broome, Shenango, Cortland, and Tompkins counties. That's until 3 o'clock.
Okay, until 3 o'clock. So again, if you're following along, we're covering the tornado warning right now, just about ready to move out of Delaware County for another 1 minute or so. If the tornado warning is extended for extreme eastern Delaware County, we're going to stay on for you. If it is allowed to expire, we're going to go back into regular programming, and then we'll start turning things over to watching. Again, you might be wondering, is this it for the tornado threat? No, it's not. We have a cold front that's going to drop in later this afternoon into the evening, so from this point on into the evening hours, we're going to be watching an environment favorable to damaging winds, and I did just hear another update.
The tornado warning was allowed to expire.
Okay, so it was allowed to expire. So we're going to rehash here. Tornado was observed in Roxbury. If you do have any damage reports, if you're in that area, and if you see any damage, please send pictures or video along to us when it's safe to do so. That will help us understand things a little bit better as to what happened there. But the bottom line is here, that tornado warning has now expired for Delaware County. So Delaware County, you are in the clear. And then we're going to continue to watch. Please be weather aware. We've already had one tornado here today, according to the National Weather Service local storm report there. So it is entirely possible that we could see more develop this afternoon with the entire area under that tornado watch. So again, follow us on social media, our WBNG Twitter, Instagram, and of course our Facebook pages. And again, if you do have any sort of damaged photos or videos, please send us a message through our WBNG Facebook page or the Storm Track 12 Facebook page. You could even contact me through my Facebook page, Howard Mangis WBNG, and it'll help us get a better understanding. But for now, with that tornado warning expired, we're going to take it back into regular programming.